Thank you so much for clicking on this video. So in this video, we'll be looking at 10 questions that you'll expect in your algebra. And this is going to be non-calculator. You don't need to calculate at all. So each question I would like you to do. And then once you've done them, and then I'll run through. There are 10 questions, and that will cover factorizing, expanding, simultaneous equations, worded problems, and stuff like that that you'll expect to come in your test. All right. Each question I would like you to pause the video and try, and then I'll run over. Now, as I run over, I'm going to be adding other bits. Okay. As I run over, the other things I'm going to be adding extra that could come in your exam that did not show in the questions here. So I'd like you to pause the video in your book and try question 1 and question 2. Pause the video and try question 1 and question 2 right now. Okay, so I hope that you've done this. Now, question 1 says expand or simplify. If you have brackets like this, the first one is to expand the first bracket. So you do 3 times by 2x, and that'll give you 6x. You do 3 times by -5, and that'll give you -15. We've expanded the first bracket. Now we're going to expand the second bracket. Don't forget this is a -4. So you're going to do -4 times x, and that will be -4x. You do -4 times 3, and that's going to be -12. So that's the first thing. Okay? Then you want to simplify. When you simplify, you collect the like terms. So this is 6x minus 4x, and that's going to give you 2x. This is -15, take away 12. So think about it. -15 take away 12. What would that become? So you are at the back of the queue, 15 steps, and you want to carry on going at the back of the queue. You're going to end up 27 steps at the back of the queue. It's as if you're carrying on going at the back from 15, you keep going back. You're going to end up minus 27. 15 plus 12 is 27. So the answer is going to be -27. So this is it. Okay. The second one, say factorize. When you hear the word factorize, it means write with brackets. When you have an expression like this, look at the first numbers. You go 12 and 18. The biggest number that will go into 12 and 18 is what you need. It's not a 2, it's not a 3, it's a 6. Write the 6 out. It has to be the biggest number that goes to both of them. Then if you have some letters here and some letters here, pick the common one. All right, you see there's A and there's A. That means that A is common. It can be factorized out. Now, there's only B on this one, but not on that one. So we can't factorize the B out. Now we say 6A times by something to give me 12. That will be 2. But remember there's a B here, which we don't have outside here. So you put B there. So 6A times 2B is 12AB. Then 6A times by something, and that's going to be 3, because 6A times by 3 is give you 18, but we have a negative in front because of that. Okay, so you have factorized it. And in the test, you can times out and check. So do 6A times 2B and see if it gives you this. And then do 6A times -3 and see if you get this. If you get that you factorize correctly. Okay. Now we go to question 3 and question 4. We're going to go to question 3 and question 4. Okay, so these are the answers for the first two. If you want to mark, these are the answers. Okay, now let's go to question 3 and question 4. So pause the video and try question 3 and question 4. Okay, so I hope that you tried them. Now I'm going to go over them. Now, there are two things to this equation. Number one, we have a bracket. Number two, we have x on this side and x on that side. The first step is always open your bracket. So 3 times 2x is 6x, and then 3 times -4 is -12. Don't do the 2 times 3, because the 3 doesn't affect the 2. It's not in bracket. So that's just going to be 2. The second step is to collect the like terms on both sides. So this -12 plus 2 is -10. So you simplify. Now, after you get here, check that you have x on only one side. But here I've got 5x here and I've got 6x here. So you remove the smaller one. This is 5x and this is 6x. So remove the smaller one. And that's going to be 5x there. And that'll be 5x here. So you remove that smaller one. Okay? So 5x minus 5x is 0. 5x minus 5x is 0. And then I've got this -7. Okay, put that -7 there. And then we have 6x minus 5x, which is going to be 1x. Then you have to take away 10. Okay? So far we have -7 and then x minus 10. Now, because you have x only now one side, if you want, you can switch this like this. You don't have to, but you can just switch them like this. There's nothing you've done wrong. I always prefer if x on the left-hand side. Okay? And then now you take away, you remove this negative 10 by adding. You add 10 both sides. So if you add 10 both sides, something will happen. Okay? The negative 10 and 10 will go. And the other side, I'll have negative 7 plus 10 is going to be negative. It's going to be 3, not negative. It's going to be 3. If you use the number line, that will give you 3. So x is 3. Okay? Now we go to symmetric equation, and you'll be expecting symmetric equations to come in your test. So with symmetric equation, the first thing, you have to decide whether you are making the first one the same or the second one the same. I like making the second one the same. So this is 2, but that's just 1. So I'll times the top one by 2, and the bottom one I will times by the number here, which is basically just 1. So if I do that, 2 times 4x is 8x, and then 2 times y is 2y, and then 2 times 19 is 38. Okay. Then the bottom one I just times by 1, so everything will just stay the same as it is. So there you now have 1 mark. I've made the y's the same. I would have made the x the same, but I always prefer to make this one the same. Now that you've done that, you're going to eliminate this y now. Check. If the signs are opposite, you have to add to eliminate. If the signs are opposite. But if they're the same, you take away. So 8x take away x is going to be 7x. 2y minus, no, which you're supposed to add. So you got 8x plus x is 9x. Okay. 2y plus negative 2y is 0. And then 38 plus minus 8 will come 30. See that? So now 9x equals to 30. That's what it is. Now what we need to do now, we need to divide both sides by 9 to give us what x is. So that's the first one. Now I want to say that there was an error in this question because you need calculator to handle this part, but the method is still the same. The method is still the same. After you find what x is, you now sub it back to find what y is. I'm going to sub it back on this one. I'm going to sub it back on that. Okay? To find what y is. So I'm going to say 4 times x. So it's going to be 4 times 30 over 9. This one plus y is equals to 19. You see this? Now if I times this one out, 4 times 30, I would have simplified this if I wanted actually, because 3 goes here how many times? 3 goes there once, and 3 goes there 3 times. So this is basically 10 over 3. Yeah, 10 over 3. So I could use 10 over 3 instead. So I use 10 over 3 instead. So if you times this one out, 4 times 10 is going to be 120. Now it's going to be 40 over 3 plus y is equals to 19. So how do I find y? You do this, take away that. So y is going to be equals to 19, take away 40 over 3. Now that's just the method how to do it. But this will have been in a calculator paper. But for your test, typically you get these numbers that are nice. Like for example, x will be 1 or 2 or 3 or 1 point something. You do in the calculator. But the method is the same. Okay? So our x is 10 over 3 and our y will have been 19, take away 40 over 3, and you can put that in the calculator. Get the answer. Now we move on to question 5. There was an error on that question, I realized. So we're going to move on to question 5 now. So pause the video and try question 5 and question 6. Okay, so I hope that you try question 5 and 6. Question 5 says a pen costs P pounds and a ruler costs R pounds. So we have P and we have R. So Tariq buys 3 pens. So we're going to say 3P there. And 2 rulers. We're going to say 2R. And that together is £11.40. And we can just write it like that. Then Sarah buys 2 pens. I'm going to do 2P there. And 4 rulers plus 4R. And that's going to be 1280. All right. So when you find this question in the test, the numbers will be very nice to use. So you don't need to use calculator. But this one, it appears you need to use calculator. But it doesn't matter. The method is the same. Okay. Now you decide what you want to keep the same, whether it is the P's or the R. I like keeping the second one the same. So I'll multiply the top one by 2. Because it will make this 2 become the same as 4R. Okay. So 2 times 3P is 6P. And then 2 times 2R is 4R. And then 2 times 1140. that would be 2280. And then the bottom one is just going to be the same. 2p plus 4r equals to 1280. Okay. Now, the 4r and the 4 are now the same, and the signs are the same. So the only way we can eliminate them is by taking away. If the signs are the same, you subtract. 6p take away 2p is 4p. 4r take away 4r is 0. If I subtract this one, then I'm going to end up with 10, like that. Going to with 1000, which is that. Then to find what p is, I'll divide by 4. So it's going to do 1000 divided by 4, and that will be 250. So it means that 1 pen is 250p, or 250, £2.50. Okay, that's what 1 pen is. Now, to find what one ruler is, sub it back in the equation you like. So I'm going to sub it back on the first one. So we have 3p, and 3p means 3 times p, and p is 250. So that will be 750 then. Okay, so I'm going to do 3, this 3 here, times by the 2.50. That will give me £7.50. Plus 2r is giving us 1140. So I'm subbing back in the original equation. And then to find r, I will take away this, then I divide by 2. So to find r, I'll do 1140. Then I'll take away 750. Then the answer, I'll divide by this 2. And that'll give me what r is. Okay, so that's how to do it. So that's the cost of 1 pen and 1 ruler. Let's look at the mark scheme. If there's no error, it says 250 and £1.95. So the second one should be £1.95. And this is £2.50. Okay, so this one here should be £1.95 or 1.95p. That's how to do that. Now let's go to question 6. Let's go to question 6. So question 6, it says a triangle has these angles. Remember, a triangle normally has 3 angles inside. So basically what we are saying is that these 3 angles are this. So I'm going to call that A, B, and C. So A, B, and C. Okay. Now the angles in a triangle always make 180. So anytime I think about triangle, I'll just add them up. So I'm going to add these angles and make equal 180. So when you add them, add x first. So 3x plus 2x is 5x plus x is 6x. That's 6x. The numbers 10 plus negative 5 is 5. 5 plus 25 is 30. So this is it. So I've got 6x plus 30 degrees. That's the sum of them when you add them. But I know they should equal to 180. So what I need to do now, I need to solve for what x is. I take away 30 both sides. Just take away 30 both sides, and that'll give you 150. Okay? And then divide by 6. So when you divide 150 by 6, you're going to get 25, I think. It's going to be 25. So 150 divided by 6 is 25. So x is 25. All right? Now, you can be asked in exam whether the triangle is a scalene triangle, which means that all the angles are different, or is equilateral triangle, equilateral, which means that they are all 60, 60, 60, or right angle triangle, or isosceles triangle. Do you see that? So you have to do this. You have to work out what each angle is, and then see. So what we're going to do now, we will now sub in the x equals 25 and see what we are getting. So where x is, I'll sub in 25. So you do 3 times 25 is 75, plus 10 is 85. So this angle is 85. So obviously it's not going to be equilateral triangle. Then we do 2 times 25 is 50, minus 5 is 45 degrees. And then if you do 25 plus 25 is 50 degrees. Now because these angles are different, we now call this one scalene triangle. Scalene triangle is a triangle where all the angles are different. Okay? Isosceles triangle is when 2 of them are the same. So once you get that one, just sub in and check what the angles are and make comment. All right? Now we will move on. So they say that yeah, that's 25. You just done that. That was 25. Now you're going to go to question 7 and question 8. So pause the video and try question 7 and question 8 right now. Okay, so I hope that you pause the video, try question 7. Now with question 7 is a harder factorizing that involves indices, powers. So with this one, you look at the numbers first. So 16 and 24, the biggest number that goes into them is 8. Write that 8 there, creating space for the letters as well. 4 goes into both of them, but you go for the biggest number. If you don't go for the biggest number, you lose a mark in exam. Now, a to the power 5 and a cubed. You pick the one that's got the lowest power and you write it out there. The one that's got the lowest power. Then you have b cubed and b squared. Pick the one that has got the lowest power there. Okay? Then now we start. Now, 8 times by 2 gives me 16. A cubed times by a to the power of 2, because 2 plus 3 is 5. Okay? B squared times by b will give me b cubed. So there are 2 b's here and there's 1 here, and they'll give me this 3. Then I've got this minus there. Okay? Now, 8 times by 3 will give me this 24. And then a cubed times by just 1 will give me a cubed. So I don't need to write 1 here. These 3 will take care of that. So don't try to write 1 here. All right? And then b squared times by 1 again would give me b squared. So because we have this a cubed b squared, which is already there, you don't need to write anything there apart from just 3. So this is the final answer to that. Now, question 8. Now, we want to find for y-axis, but on the side where x is, we got so many things. We got take away 3, we got divide by 7, we got add 4, we got times by 2. Start with removing the one that's on its own. Start by taking away these 3. You do that by adding 3 both sides, okay? Because on its own, deal with it fast. So we have 2x plus 4, all divided by 7. That will give us 10, okay? It's like this negative 3, you just added 3, you removed it fast. The next thing we're going to deal with the divide. Don't do the take away 4 first. Do this divide, because this add 4 is connected, is tied up with the rest of them. So remove this divide by 7. So the opposite of dividing by 7 is timesing by 7. So if you times this add by 7 and times that by 7, this 7 will cancel the divide by 7. So we'll have 2x plus 4 on the left hand side. The other side I'm going to have 10 times 7 is going to be 70. Okay. Then the next thing now, I'll need to take away 4 both sides. So it's 2x. If you take away 4 both sides, you're going to end up with 66. Take away 4 both sides. Then divide both sides by 2, and that'll give you 33. And the answer is 33. 6 divided by 2 is 33. Done. Now we're going to go to the next one. And the next one is question 9. The next one is question 9. And this is it. Question 9 is a bit tricky, but it's fine. So we're going to do question 9 and question 10. Pause the video, try question 9 and 10. Okay, so I hope that you try question 9 and 10. The first thing you need to do now with this, there is this 5 and this 9. Put them on one side. Take away 5 both sides. Take away this 5. Take away from there. So you have 3x minus 2 over 4. The other side, I'll have x over 2. 9 take away 5 is 4, positive 4. That's what we have so far. Okay. The other thing you can do with this one is quite tricky, this one. There's so many ways you can do this. So many ways you can do this. So many ways you can do this. Now, what we can do, we can bring the ones with the x on one side, really. That's what we can do. So if I take away this x over 2 from here, and I take it away from here, see what happens. I've got 3x minus 2 over 4, and I'm taking away x minus 2. I'm just going to write it down. Take away x over 2, like that. The other side now equals 4. Do you see this? Now, what I want to do now, because these ones are different fractions, what I can do, I can change the denominator to be the same. So if I times this bottom by 2 and times the top by 2, I'll have 2 at the top there, and here I'm going to have 4. I'm going to have 4. So 2x over 4 is the same as x over 2. Now that the bottoms are the same, I can just simplify the top ones now. So I'll have 3x minus 2x, and that'll give me 1x minus 2. Because 3x minus 2x is 1x, and then there's this minus 2 which I've written there. All over 4 equals to 4. You see that? Okay? Then the next thing now, we can just times by 4. We can remove this divide by 4 by times it by 4, and that will now give us 16 on the other side. Then we can now remove the minus 2 by adding, and that will give us 18. So x equals 18. All right? But there are other ways of doing that. but the answer is 18. Whichever way you do it, you'll get 18. Now let's go to question 10. Let's go to question 10. Question 10 says a rectangle. Anytime you see questions like this, first just sketch them straight away. Sketch them. So the length is 5x minus 2, and the width is 2x plus 1. That's the first you need to do. When they say perimeter, you need to add everything. So this is 5x minus 2, and this should be 2x plus 1 because the sides are the same. So perimeter, we need to add everything all the way around. So let's start with the x's. 5x plus 5x plus 2x plus 2x is 14x. Okay? Now, minus 2 plus 1 plus 1, if you add them properly, 1 plus 1 is 2. 2 plus minus 2 is 0. And then we just got this minus 2 left. So this is it. That's the expression for the perimeter. Done. Okay? Now, the area is different. And if you've not done what we call quadratics, they might not ask you this in the test if you've not done quadratics. But if you've done quadratics, they can ask you. The area is given by length times by width. Okay? Now here the length is 5x minus 2. And the width is 2x plus 1. We need to times them. When you times things inside a bracket, you just write the brackets next to each other. So x minus 2, bracket, 2x plus 1. It means you're multiplying them. That's all. So if you have not done quadratics, don't worry. You'll be able to do this once you've done that. But if you've done it, then the way you multiply things like this, you type the first one, multiply by that, and then multiply by that first. So 5x times 2x is 10x squared. 5x times 1 is 5x. Okay? Then you do the bottom one. Now you do this one and that one. Negative 2 times 2 is negative 4. Don't forget this x. And negative 2 times 1 is negative 2. This is it. So this is 10x squared. This one. And then 5x minus 4x is going to be plus 1x. And then we have this minus 2. So this is the expression, and that's the end of it. That's the end of it. That's how to do that. But that one is only if you've done the topic of quadratics. If you haven't done the topic of quadratics, you might not come across that in the test. All right. So that is going to be that. That's it for today. Those are the answers. These are all the answers. If you just want to mark how you did it, these are all the answers.